What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. If you don't know who I am, that means you're new. I'm Mark. What's good with y'all? Go check out my other videos. Check them out. Check them out. But first, stay on this one. So, I think this video is pretty important to talk about, especially considering how recently I just did a video on the second Trump assassination attempt. Now, before I get into it, we, as of a couple days ago, have hit 500 subscribers. Now, normally I would make a communities post about it, and I am going to make a communities post later. However, I wanted to address that in this video right here, right now. 500 subscribers. So 500 of y'all watched some form of my content, whether it's my shorts, whether it's my long-term videos, and you said, you know what? I want to see more of this guy. So I thank each and every one of y'all. Now, moving on from that, we need to talk about how low the feds are trying to hit us as gun owners right now, whether we realize it or not. So, what charges was this assassin, at least because the other one got domed, bro, got smoked. But what charges is this assassin dealing with right now? Well, federally speaking, he only has 2 gun charges. And I have a real big issue with that. In Florida, if I'm not mistaken, our governor has sworn to push for attempted murder charges on him, so I really have no doubt that he's going to get attempted murder here in a state case. But for a federal case, he only has 2 gun charges. We don't see the feds really aren't seeing a problem with that at all. They're not seeing that, oh yeah, well, yeah, he did, he is a felon in possession of a firearm. He is in possession of a firearm with a serial number scraped off. You're not going to talk about the fact how he was obviously there to shoot and kill Trump? We're not talking about that? We're not talking about conspiracy to commit murder, attempted murder? We're not talking about any of these? We're not talking about how it's a politically motivated crime, could have been a politically motivated assassination. We're not talking about any of this, really. Really, you're not going to put any of that on there as well, huh? You're not going to put conspiracy to commit murder. You're not going to put attempted murder. You're not going to put none of that, especially considering there was a note that was brought up. And this was one of the things I wanted to mention too, because I'm sure a lot of y'all are wondering in your heads, well, how can you 100% guarantee that this was an assassination attempt? And I'm sure some of y'all are, probably like me, like, what else would it have been? But hey, let me go ahead and just, dispel the rumors that it might not have been an assassination attempt, right? So, if you go ahead and look up this shooter, I believe his last name is like Ruth or something like that. It's like South, but with an R, I believe. Weird name, but regardless, has nothing to do with it really. Weird dude, weird name, pretty commonly, commonplace combination there, I guess you could say. I read this note and was disgusted. The reason why is because on this note, he openly states, yes, this is an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Yes, I encourage people to try to do so. If you're reading this letter, this means that I failed. I gave it all I could. I'm offering $150,000 for people to go and try to succeed. This is what that letter says. All of that is disgusting. You're offering to put a hit out on Donald Trump for $150,000. You have admitted that you were trying to kill him, which clearly defines your entire purpose of why you were there was to kill him. There's no, oh, we don't know what it is, or allegedly he was there to kill Trump. He was there to kill Trump. There's no arguing about it. There's no debating. There's no going around. No, none of that. And now that we have established that, we've gotten that part out of the way. We've gotten out of the way what his goal was, what his motives were, why he was doing every little bit that we needed from it at least. Why is he not charged with at least a conspiracy to commit murder charge, let alone an attempted murder charge? I don't know. It's just kind of funny because the feds don't even realize how bad this is kind of backfiring on them by doing that. by not pushing for this guy to have some sort of murder charge, whether it's an attempted murder or a conspiracy to commit a murder, especially on a presidential candidate. Especially, it's really backfiring on the feds that they're not trying to add this charge because it's more so proving to the people, hey, yeah, we're probably the ones behind it. Hey, yeah, we probably are the ones who set everything up for it to happen. That's all it tells the American people, truthfully speaking. If anything, it just tells the American people how much the feds are against freedom, which should be obvious considering they have a 95% conviction rate. So, we need to think about this. Why would they not charge him with some sort of either conspiracy or attempted murder charge? Why would they not charge him that when he openly stated what his political motivation was? Or not even just his political motivation, his motivation as a whole, which was politically driven. Why is it not there? It's telling me, and at least this is what I'm seeing out of this here. And of course, if I'm wrong, I'm more than willing to admit I'm wrong. But I have a good feeling the feds have something to do with it. Whether they set it up, whatever it could be, I'm telling you right now they had something to do with it because it makes no sense not to charge him with a conspiracy to commit murder charge, at least. At the very least, because he's been planning it for so long, which is the definition of conspiracy. A conspiracy to commit a murder means you're planning out a murder and you got caught in the middle of it. So if he wasn't actively at that moment trying to kill the president, this letter immediately says, yes, we need to charge him with conspiracy at the bare minimum. And if you're not going to do that, it's saying more than really should be said from the end of the feds. And man, I can't believe that we've been having to make as many videos as we have, especially on situations like this, because it really shouldn't be a situation that we're having to discuss. But then again, here we are as well. We're in 2024 towards the end of it, and we're having to talk about how Trump was almost assassinated twice and how the feds won't charge the guy with any sort juice. I can English. Any sort or any form of murder charge, whether it's a conspiracy or an attempted. It doesn't make sense to me. But then again, how many things with the federal government truly make sense? Let's be 100% real here. And that's not oh, well, we don't understand it, so we should just trust the government. No, it's more so that their actions legitimately make no sense because they're not doing things that would follow the rational mind. Now, some of y'all might be wondering, well, what are you saying by that? What I'm saying is that rationally speaking, right? Let's say, I'm going to go have a friend pick up, some sandwiches for me at a grocery store, right? Whatever. Sending a friend to Publix to go get me some pub subs. All right. Now, this friend forgets one of the subs, forgets one of them entirely, and then comes back to me stating, yeah, well, you actually only ordered this many. What? I guess what I'm trying to say in a nice way is that it's a level of gaslighting that we should be expecting from the federal government, but also shouldn't be the case. In the end, it seems like they're trying to put more attention on his gun charges than what he was trying to use the gun for, which then again also goes against the Second Amendment. See what I mean here? The government overall, none of their actions are going to make sense. That's what I was getting at with the whole gaslighting analogy there, is that it's not going to make sense when a friend asks for you to go buy 4 sandwiches, for you to bring back 3 and tell them that they only told you to get 3. No, I can read. I texted you the number 4. The gaslighting doesn't make sense because it's not like, oh yeah, well, maybe it's this, right? I set it down here, grabbed it when no one was looking. Oh, did anybody see where that little piece went? No clue. It's not even like that. It's just straight up the dumbest stuff ever. Some of y'all might be thinking I'm going off on a rant. Maybe I am. It's been almost a week since I've uploaded the video. I've missed you guys. But all in all, I'm going to stop myself before I go on a full-blown rant and this video becomes, instead of 10 minutes, 30 minutes. But overall, it's showing it's showing a real low blow from the feds to us who support the Second Amendment because of the fact that one, they're only trying to charge this guy with anything to do with his firearms, which again, what is the government against? The people being able to protect themselves from it. So how do you do that? You try to make guns seem like the bad guy. Oh, look at this guy! He's got these gun charges, and they're not talking about the fact of what he was trying to do with those guns. They're not showing his face saying, "Oh yeah, well, this guy did, conspire to commit a murder on a presidential candidate." The feds aren't caring about that for whatever reason, which in the end just shows a couple things. One, we're dealing with a tyrannical government, whether we want to admit it or not. We are dealing with a tyrannical government, which is the exact reason why the Second Amendment exists. Two, this tyrannical government hates Donald Trump. Very apparent. Three, this tyrannical government hates that we're able to protect ourselves. And four, last but not least, I can't remember if I said it tells me three things or whatever. It tells me a few things, but in this case, four. The fourth thing that it tells me is that we need to cling to our Second Amendment now more than ever. And it's funny because when I did a video around a week ago talking about the whole Trump assassination attempt, people, I basically sat there and said, hey, everybody, if, Trump does get killed, you realize that we're just going to cling to our Second Amendment right more than ever. Well, now this week, I'm telling y'all we do need to cling to our Second Amendment right more than ever. The reason why I say that is because of the fact that, one, we're seeing already enough that the government has gone tyrannical. There's no going back. Sorry, guys, that's the truth. The only way we can stop this tyrannical government is to get this administration out of office, plain and simple. Anybody who would be okay with not charging this guy with some form or sort of conspiracy charge or even an attempted murder charge is completely out of their mind. I'm sorry, but if I sit there and plan a murder, that's conspiracy to commit murder, whether you like it or not. That note provides more than enough proof that he was planning a murder on Donald Trump. Now, with that being said, once again, I'm going to stop myself so that way I don't go back into that rant again. Overall, it just shows a huge middle finger to us in the Second Amendment. It really, really is. You know what I mean? To only sit here and try to charge this guy with federal gun charges as if he didn't just sit there and conspire to murder a presidential candidate really is just a big middle finger to the Second Amendment community, because all it does is once again bring out more misinformation about firearms, because it's going to make everybody be like, oh, that's the guy that tried killing one of our presidential candidates. He used a gun. Oh, guns. And it's going to turn into that whole debate. It's funny. I even did a video talking about how these anti-gunners would try to use this situation against the Second Amendment. And, I'll be honest, I did not count on this one. Should have added it to my list. But make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, hit that bell. When you hit that bell, hit all. And whether or not you agree with me, which I'm confused, who would disagree with me about the fact that the guy who was found trying to get a gun set to shoot Trump with wrote a letter stating, yes, this was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. I'm confused as why we shouldn't charge him with a conspiracy to commit murder, let alone an attempted murder. I'm just confused as who would disagree with me on that. But whether or not you agree or disagree, go ahead and make sure to comment down below your thoughts, why or why not. With that being said, y'all make sure to stay legal, stay safe, stay dangerous. Have a good one, y'all. Peace.